I am so sorry that I missed the first half of this video, actually, turning the back side of this bowl. This was a requested piece. It's for an exchange with Chris Walters. He's known on YouTube as the Stuttering Woodturner. And so you'll want to go over and see what he is doing as well. We're making these. Had some rough parameters, and we're making these for each other. So I'll be shipping this one to him, and he'll be shipping the one he's turning to me. In fact, in the description, I will have the link to his video. So anyway, this is a piece of Osage orange that I've turned the back side already. I've flattened the top side and put a couple of grooves in it. And so what you're seeing me do here, I'm using some Pearl X. This was a color that was discontinued. It's a color shifting color. It's supposed to be red to blue. It comes out a little more pinky, but in this piece, it'll actually come out more purpley, as you can kind of see there. So anyway, I put some CA glue in there, my Parfex 3408, put it in the grooves, then put the mica powder over that, then added more glue, and on top, the glue wants to run off of the powder. I've noticed that in several products, not just mica powders. It does the same thing with coffee grounds. And so it's a little difficult, and sometimes you have to do more than one application. With this Pearl X powder, I think I put I did 4 fillings of the grooves, and then sanded. The last time I think I actually took a gouge and cut the surface off before I sanded, and it ended up working very well. I still have a few little places, but actually I kind of like a few little places in that inlay. Gives it a look and a feel, at least in my eyes, of being more of a natural stone. And so that's where I left it. Here you can see where I've taken my bowl gouge, and I'm just skimming the top of it, getting the heavy parts of the glue off, as well as the mounds of mica that are on top, so that I have a smooth surface to begin with. Then I can sand it more effectively. If you haven't used Osage orange before, once you get away from the bark, it is very, very bright yellow until it oxidizes. And then some people don't like the color it oxidizes into. I do. I love it. It's kind of a golden brown. So I think it's a pretty wood. It's very vibrant when it's fresh. This piece of Osage I got as a board, and it was the what they call the scab. It was that first cut off of a log when it goes through a mill. And so there was a good bit of waste in the piece that I had. It was just too thin to use. But I got several pieces, roughly the size of this one. It really does, the wood turns very nice. It's super, super hard. Here in Kentucky, they use Osage orange fairly often for fence posts. Back in the Middle Ages, they would use Osage orange for longbows. In fact, it's still sought after to make longbows with, for those people who are still hand making longbows. Very resilient wood, and so it resists rot, resists insects, resists decay, and so it's an amazing wood. But as you can see, it cuts very, very nice. As dry as this wood is, I was getting shavings from beginning to end. So the backside's already hollowed. The inside here, I cleaned off the top, cleaned off the top, made my grooves, filled them in, and now I'm just hollowing the bowl out. And you can see I'm getting pretty nice shavings for the most part. My shavings have kind of gone to chips right here. Mostly, I'm pretty sure I was needing a sharpening at this point. There's some more shavings. So it may have been just a dull area on the tool that I was hitting a minute ago. But here in just a moment, I'll be shifting over to my, in fact, this is my Easy Wood tool here. It's the oh, I don't remember what size they call it now. It's not the large. I guess it's the medium size finisher with the larger round cutting bit, and it does a phenomenal job on this. And I'm trying to get some undercut with this rim being as wide as it is, and it's kind of an OG shape on the outside. I wanted a deep undercut, and I got pretty much what I was looking for. I just didn't go as deep as I would have liked to have to get a nice thin wall on the lower section. So the bowl itself has a little heft at the end, but I do get a pretty significant undercut with this tool. It does a fine job. And as you can see, there are chips, and at some places there are some very nice ribbons as well. You can see down in the bowl there where I've gotten away from the bark and the discolored sections. It is a nice bright yellow, but like I said a while ago, the whole thing, all the exposed wood, with oxidation and UV exposure, it will turn to a really pretty golden brown. Just seeing if I have any lumps and bumps, any ridges that I need to go back in and take care of. Also checking that undercut, see if it's as deep as I want it. And like I said, I never do get it really as deep as I want it, but I went pretty far up under that rim. Getting some ridges out here, and then I realized there was a lump in the bottom, so I have to work on the bottom a pretty good bit. I want a nice continuous curve from the rim through the undercut all the way down and across the bottom. Now I've done that, so we're doing a little sanding here. I realized I got some of that glue and mica powder on the back side, and so I'm doing a little sanding. It was waxed already. It was completely finished on the outside, but because of the glue and the mica powder, I just decided to go ahead and give it a good sanding, and it took it off almost immediately. Just made it all that much better. I'm showing you there, I'm applying my Axe abrasive paste. Whether you use Axe or somebody else, I'm not going to fuss at you. I like the Axe. I sell the Axe. No, I don't sell the Axe. I have a discount code for the Axe. It's in the description. You go in, use Doug15 at checkout, and you'll get a 15% discount on that. And it does come both the abrasive paste and the carnauba wax. This new carnauba wax, I thought I was using the new formula earlier, and I wasn't. I just opened this jar of wax, and it is phenomenal. I really like the new formulation. It's hard in the jar. You really have to rub on it. It's like the old Kiwi shoe polish. You have to rub, and when it does come off on your applicator, whether it's a paper towel or a cloth rag or whatever it is, but being that it's the clear wax, you can't see it as well, so you may think you don't have any. You keep rubbing, and it does soften up right on the surface of the jar there. It comes off on your applicator, then you apply it, let it sit for just a minute to off gas all your solvents, and then you buff it up, and it works wonders. Gives a really nice shine. And if you don't like it, if it's not shiny enough with the first application, simply put a second application on, and then it'll shine up. I've known people to use 3 and sometimes even 4 applications of wax, just because they want a deeper wax shine. It's not wax typically doesn't give you a high gloss. It's what you do underneath it that gives you a high gloss. You may remember the Paduke bowl that I did a couple weeks ago. It's got a high gloss, or what I feel is a high gloss, and part of that is because I put a good coat of Parfex 3408 on before I waxed it. I did the Parfex, let that cure, and then I did the abrasive paste and the wax from Axe, and I got a high gloss shine. This one, I did use sanding sealer, but I did not use the Parfix. And so I get a good satin shine here. So it's not high gloss, but it does have a shine to it. Just taking my time, doing all the buffing that it needs to have done. There's no sense getting rushed at this point. You've taken your time. You've turned a shape that's pleasing to you. Hopefully you've sanded as well as you possibly can sand. And the better you sand, the better your finish will be. And so, take your time in sanding. I hate sanding, but I have learned that if I'll take my time, then I can get a much better finish. I just showed you I'm using the wax now. We've already applied it. It's no big deal to apply it. And we're just beginning the buffing process here. And again, you simply take your time. Take your time with the abrasive paste. Make sure you work it all the way off. When your paper towel comes back clean, and I mean clean, that's when you can start to do the wax. Then you take your time with the wax. It looks very shiny right here. There on the bottom side. But what we're doing here is taking that tenon off. What I started to say was you take your time, get that wax as buffed up as you possibly can, and then it'll take several hours for it to cool down and to settle into what it's going to be. But here we're just taking the tenon off. Going to work it like I always do, use Phil Anderson's method of taking the tenon off this time. Doing it between centers. I've got a block in the chuck with a paper towel over that. Then the bowl is pinched between the live center and that block. So I'm going to take it down. I'm going to sand it. I'm going to put my lines on it and autograph it like I always do. Put some wax on it, and it will be done. I tell you what, I do appreciate you being with me and watching this process. And I hope you've learned something from it. If you have, or even if you just sat back and enjoyed it, that's fine too. But if you would, on your way out, if you'll hit that thumbs up button just to let YouTube know you enjoyed it, and it helps the algorithm tremendously. I would greatly appreciate it. If you haven't already and you'd like to see more of my videos, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. That way YouTube will let you know every time I put a video out. If you want a notification of it, hit that notification bell, and then they'll send you a little message saying, "Hey, Doug just put a new video up," and you can go see it. That way you'll never miss one. I do appreciate you being with me today. Do go and visit my sponsors. You saw their pictures on the front. I will also have a link in the description for all of those as well. I thank you very much for joining me. Hope we'll see you next time. And until we meet again, I hope you're able to spin them around.